Hello, this is a tutorial for week 1 assignment 3 for color theory, in which we are creating a monochromatic progressions of tints, shades, and tones. So tints, shades, and tones are actually related to hue, value, and saturation in very specific ways. I'll talk about that as I go through the tutorial. First thing you need to do is set up your charts. You can use the provided templates for this assignment if you want to, or you can use the technique in this video in which I'm going to create my own templates. Essentially, you just need to make sure that if you create your own, they are labeled the same way as the templates that you can download are labeled. And so first thing you need to do is open a new file. So choose File, New, and make sure that when you open that new file you're selecting RGB color mode to work in. Then you need to again grab the rectangle tool, and you're going to hold down Shift on the PC, Command on the Mac to click and drag to make a square shape. And then what you're going to do is grab the selection tool V, and then either hold down Alt on the PC or Option on the Mac. And what that does is that gives you a little double arrow, which tells you that now if you click and drag, what it's going to do is it's going to copy your shape to make two shapes that are exactly the same size and shape. Put the other one at the opposite end, and then you're going to set up a blend. Go to Object, Blend, Blend Options, and then choose Specified Steps from the drop-down menu here, this little drop-down black arrow, and make sure that you have it set to 8 specified steps, then hit OK. Once you've set up your blend, you can then grab the blend tool, which is right next to the eyedropper tool here, and it's also got a shortcut of W if you want to use the shortcuts. And then all you have to do is click on the first shape, click on the second shape, and it sets up your blend, and I'll show you how that will be handy in a moment. Then what you need to do is make sure that you label everything. So I'm going to grab the text tool and click on the screen and then type out the word tints, because the first chart needs to be tints. Then I'm going to go back to my selection tool to kind of place that text where I want it to be, make sure everything's set up right. Now everything's ready to roll. All I need to do is select my colors. So you can pick any color that you want to use for the starting color. I'll just go with a yellow color here, and I've selected that from the fill charts here, just selecting it. And then notice that it fills in down here as the color. All you have to do now is with the selection tool, the black arrow tool, click and drag to put that color into the starting squares. You just click and drag and it'll place that color in the beginning squares. Then what you need to do is set up what's going to happen on the opposite end. Notice that it sort of automatically blends. That's why it's called the blend tool. So we just need to make sure that it's blending to the correct thing. Now tints are when you take a color and you add white to it. So we need to be mixing this yellow with white. So our ending color over here needs to be white. So you need to select a white color and then click and drag to place white in the ending box. And notice how my boxes here don't really have any outlines around them. You can easily add outlines to them after the fact or before. In this case, if you do it afterwards, you grab the white arrow tool to select this box and then just select a black color for the stroke color, which is this color here. The stroke color is the outline, and then you can do the same thing for the ending box as well. Select the black for the stroke color, and that stroke just basically gives you a little black outline. Other boxes already have that set up. So now for the shades chart, shades are when you take a color and you add black to it. So we need to select black from the palettes and then click and drag to put the black in there. So far, tints and shades, as you notice, are basically showing changes in value and saturation. And so primarily here we're talking about how a color can be changed by adding white to it to create tints and black to it to create shades. Tones have to do primarily with saturation. and you can either change the value or not change the value. So in the case of tones progressing to a lighter value, we are going to change the value to make it lighter. So to get a tone of a color, a tone is when you take the color and add gray to it. So to make a tones chart that progresses to a lighter value, we need to blend this color with a light gray. So we're going to select a light gray color for the ending box over here, so that our tones are progressing to a lighter value. And for the tones to progress to a darker value, we need to select a darker gray color. And then for the tones to maintain a constant value, we need to select a gray that is equivalent in value to the yellow that we have. So you need to choose a gray that seems like it's about the same relative lightness or darkness of your starting color. Yellow is a fairly light color, so we're choosing a fairly light gray here. And the idea being that we don't want it to get lighter or darker, we just want the value to maintain constant. And then that's how you do all of your charts here, to show basically all the things you can do with color to create monochromatic progressions.